Welcome to the Executive Forum Speaker Series from Purdue University's Daniel School of Business. I'm your host, Dave Randich, and I'm a lecturer here at the Daniel School, teaching undergrads on the West Lafayette campus. Executive Forum brings students and industry leaders together. Our speakers inspire our students and the public with insights on trends in their industry and guidance for students as they develop their business leadership skills. For our first podcast episode, we welcome Prasad Satyavolu. He leads manufacturing and automation capability for Accenture. Come along with us as we build the future of business.
Thank you. Thanks. Glad to be here.
Prasad, welcome to the Daniel School of Business at Purdue.
Thank you.
So, I got to get right into AI now that we've got AI in your title. And the reason I'm starting with that is this year coming back to class, I've noticed a tipping point with my students where we've gone from AI as a concept, I've got ChatGPT to play with, and now students are thinking about what's this mean for me going out and getting a job and what's that going to look like? So if you can, as you forecast out 5 to 10 years, which is a million years in AI life,
Yes.
What should students expect in their 20s when they go out into the work world relative to AI?
Yeah, you should expect to see a lot of encouragement for use of AI. That's the first and most important thing, because it is here to stay, and it is going to become an integral part of whatever job you pick up, whatever work you do, whichever field you work in. So it's going to be integral. So I'm really glad that all of you have started playing around, using it, and trying to build it. Because everywhere you go, take wealth management, for example. If you are going in, and in wealth management, you need to contact a lot of clients. And they aren't going to hand over their millions of dollars of wealth management funds to you to a chatbot. So you will need to use an AI tool to get accurate summaries, analysis, and equip yourself on how best you can advise. After all, these fields are built on trusted relationships. So your human ingenuity in using the data and the output of AI is going to be very critical. So step one is make sure you know how to use it, whichever business process you are responsible for, or you enter into whichever field. Step two is really ground yourself in something very, very important. And some of us who are in the morning session were discussing this. I'm a big believer that your own value system and how you perceive your ethics, your value system, the framework of the organization that you work for around legal, ethical, moral, I would say, is very, very important. Because AI, like any other tool, can be misused. So I would say you should be prepared to have that compass ready on what lines you will never cross, how will you leverage it. So think about that. It's personal, that how will you use any tool that's given to you in your job. And third, and perhaps something that'll change when you enter into an era where technology is becoming a dominant force and a guiding force for you to do your business and execute your business processes. What you have to keep in mind is that technology is going to change over a period of time. So the important thing is, if you are in manufacturing, learn the trade, learn the process, walk the floor, understand the nuance, understand the human element of that process, and see what do I gain. Because at certain point of time, you need to start abstracting technology from the process and human angle. So learning those dimensions is what is going to make you and develop you into a person that can weather the technology changes and technology waves. So that's I think some of the expectations that one should have when embarking on the AI.
Yes, and I love the humanistic approach, and also some of my students might recognize is the hands-on approach to get to know the process underneath. Yeah. I had a student ask yesterday, how do we feel encouraged about AI being a tool as opposed to a replacement for us?
That's a great question. I get that a lot. Hey, how many show of hands Harry Potter fans here? All right, quite a few. So I'm myself am. So it's like, so you remember one of those books and movies, they said like, don't trust anything that can think for itself. But don't worry, even if AI develops into something which has its own cognizance, it will probably not evolve into something with consciousness. So there is a difference. All AI tools are developing into with deep cognizance, with perception. And that perception can lead to analysis, manipulation of data, generation of data to draw conclusions, and sometimes based on very limited data sets. That's what the large language models work. If you talk about physical AI, you use synthetic data generation to train the models and the physical objects. So the human story is all about a development of tools and how we as human beings have always adopted those tools, learned from them, and built on them, and then replaced those tools with better ones. That's how it has been. And I was quoting to some of you in the morning, my mentor, Clayton Christensen, who used to have this famous jobs to be done philosophy. It was like, jobs remain, technology changes. So during Julius Caesar's time, he would send messages through charioteers or horses. Then FedEx came. And then email happened. And now you DM each other on Insta. So you are changing the mode, but essentially you are communicating. So start thinking of that level of association and dissociation. Dissociate yourself. That what you are after is actually execution of a process or an objective or an outcome. In your personal lives, you want to be able to get the cheapest ticket from here to, let's say, Washington, D.C. for a travel. And in your business, you want to execute the best deal outcome for your clients. How do you do that? You use tools. And previously I was using Excel sheets. I've even used telex machines. Maybe some of you may not even have heard of those. What are those? Google it. Telex machines versus then faxes. So think of AI as a tool. And your knowledge of business, your knowledge of your customers, your colleagues, your organization, its culture is what is going to make you stand out and leverage these tools as things go. So it's not a replacement. It will never be. But if you think of that as the process, then it could be a replacement for you, for sure. There will be shifts, as I said, in the job profiles, for sure. And we can take multiple examples. You need a quality technician on the floor to examine images that are coming up on the screen. You can use an AI to flag the defects on which batches are defective. Same thing in sorting to any business process. But will it be augmenting it? Yes, 100%. You can make faster decisions, better decisions. You can change the business processes. Focus on process, human, and human behavior.
Insightful, and I learned so much listening to you, Prasad. I'd like to switch over to Accenture, and so we have a lot of students that are thinking about internships and jobs. I would say that the most common career aspirations I hear from students is, one, I want to go make money in New York, or the other is I want to go into consulting, and Accenture is a blue chip name in that world. What's it like for somebody in their 20s who gets out of Purdue? What would their life be like in their 20s working for Accenture? What are they doing?
All right. First of all, prepare to work hard. Our tagline on performance delivered is very important. We live by that. What should you expect? I think I would turn the question a little bit to say, because it is important for us when you join Accenture to have a great experience and really enjoy it, because it is hard work. It is hard work, and you want to be among a peer group that enjoy the work as much as you do. So that's, to us, it won't be fun. I'm talking about enjoyment. So there is a difference there. So in Accenture, a typical work day would be very focused on clients, basically, because we serve clients, and that is what is in our DNA. And what makes it super challenging and super enjoying is seeing the outcome of your efforts come alive. So we are not just paper consultants. That's what distinguishes Accenture. That we won't come in and just do a study or an analysis and leave our clients with a PowerPoint deck. So like you were in the morning mentioning the warehouse automation piece. So those are exactly the kind of situations an Accenture consultant would walk in, and you would look at, why is there defects at the end of the line? Why are more boxes getting rejected? Why are we running at 50% capacity utilization today? You will analyze it, you will use your knowledge, and we will train you, obviously, on tools and techniques that we do. And then solve for the problem. That problem solution may lie in a process change. It may need a technology implementation. And then you work with teams to find those ideas, distill them, and go through the implementation. So that's how the life cycle progresses. But underneath those, what is needed? What is needed is a keen listening sense. That listening is the most important skill in consulting. And along with that, compassion, because we get called in to fix drastic situations. For example, if a facility is working at 35%, 40% efficiency, that means that client has really facing some trouble. That's why they are calling you. So empathy and compassion are not spoken of, but they are most important virtues and qualities to develop. I wouldn't get into technical synthesis analysis. You guys are Purdue grads, you understand that, and you do a great job on that. Again, focus on the human side. Who are the people who are engaged in this process? Analyzing, understanding them, listening them, making them part of the solution process is what makes it super fun. That's the fun part. That when you ultimately deliver anything, a solution or an outcome, and you see the joy on people who kind of experiencing a better result, that's great satisfaction. So that's what happens in the life of a consultant typically, but the journey that you will go through is like being part of the team, work with the team, but over and above, what I really like to see in my analyst community and the consultants is their ability to challenge us, challenge your manager, challenge the project assumptions, and that's the environment that we have created. You can write to anybody, and you can talk to anybody, no matter what their designation is, how senior they are, how busy they are. They will respond back to you. So I'm speaking some of the things. These are not categorized as attributes, qualities, values, but I wanted to share with you how life happens, basically, and that's real. That's what happens, and what makes you even more comfortable is there is a sense of humility and there is a sense of purpose in Accenture. And there are lines that we never ever cross. Like one of the most ethical, value-driven firm that I can vouch for. and that's what makes it very unique. It's a combination of our own internal values, what's our DNA, our focus on delivering outcomes makes it a great place to work.
That sounds like a terrific culture, and what really resonates with me is the customer focus linked to listening, compassion, and humility. We don't always associate that with high-flying firms, and I appreciate that a lot. So let's go back to another topical issue. We're very interested in semiconductors, chips here in West Lafayette with our college, and the United States has to do a lot better in this area. What's going on in the world of reshoring or onshoring chips, and what are the challenges that these leaders are going to have to overcome to get us to that result?
Yeah, it's I would call, without hyperbole, that having semiconductor manufacturing value chain established within US is a national emergency. Everything that is more than $50 and you can't eat it will be made intelligent with embedded intelligence and something that requires an execution either on the edge or the way that device is performing, from autonomous cars to robo-taxis. You hear a lot of that, to those nice pizza delivery bots that are roaming around the campus. I love those, by the way. So all of that requires chips. Your phones require chips. Meta is threatening for all of us to wear glasses as the next frontier for perception and processing and computing. But they're all rooted in how do we collect information, how do we process it, how do we make it available for consumption. And that requires chips, basically, and electronic chips. The fact is, it will take a lot. So this is, in normal word, it is a 10-year journey because you need to build skills from scratch. We have design skills in the semiconductor area within US, semiconductor and electronics and applied electronics, but we have not established manufacturing facilities. That means institutes like Purdue will have to step up in fast tracking the curriculum in manufacturing on how do you do fab design, how do you establish fabs, how do you run fabs, and then how do you build forward from there. So statistically speaking, today Global Foundry is the only one which has fabrication facilities in US, in New York. Other than that, none. Some are getting built in Arizona, as many of you must have heard. New York is building many. Ohio is coming up with many plants. So there is about, all put together, about $1 trillion of investment coming in semiconductor value chain in the country. That means semiconductor manufacturing, supply chain, and development is going to be one of the most important growth areas in which, of the economy, in which all of us can participate. All of us. It's going to be amazing. Then the parts that are really need to develop fast is, it's not just about semiconductor, you just manufacture. You need raw materials, and you need a lot of expertise in how do you build a facility like that. So it starts with at one end, what is the supply chain for these raw materials, where are they coming from, how do you secure those, and B, how do you construct these? So expertise in construction. From what I heard yesterday going around the campus is, you guys are doing all the right things. I mean, you have a big partnership going on in construction area, and so how do you build construction capability, capital projects execution capability? Great step. Working with SK Hessing here to build a plant here that will educate faster than any other formal curriculum. So I can only say that getting engaged in those efforts by this team and by this class and rest would be a great step, because that will create a right foundation for going forward. If you see globally, as I said, this is a national emergency, so we are far behind the curve on this. Taiwan, Malaysia, Vietnam, and China are aggressively moving forward in building these facilities, even India, because everybody has identified that to be independent and to make technological progress and really improve those use cases that we are all talking about on how AI is going to affect, you need to build AI factories. AI factories require data centers. Data centers requires chips, GPUs and chips. So it goes on. So if we are betting on, hey, AI is going to be transformative in our business processes, if you keep boiling it down, disaggregating that, it comes down to manufacturing. So that's the linkage on the overall impact, basically.
Well, that's both scary, national emergency, but also very inspiring to me as a manufacturing guy. I mean, to think about how much investment is going to be going on in this area and how much leadership is required, not just engineering, but OBHR, general management, finance. Outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and I should have mentioned that, but so thank you for pointing that out. Many times when we are in those deep technical discussions, we are always thinking about the AI element, the design element, the construction and all of that, and we are forgetting that we have a workforce development issue that we need to address it. As much as we will introduce automation in these processes, we need a general managerial skill and capability to be able to manage this. Because guess what? The design, by nature, semiconductor manufacturing is a high velocity and high change manufacturing. That means product design change very often, very, very rapidly. So you need a very different mindset of making that. So that means the next generation of leadership, managerial leadership, technical leadership needs to be thinking differently on that space. It's a much more agile, fast-paced management culture that you need than anything other, which moves a little slow, but this side moves faster, is what I would say.
Do you have just a broad estimate of how many millions of people we have to skill up to meet this challenge?
Wow. So National Association of Manufacturing had estimated that by 2040, we will be short about 4.8 million jobs in the country. But in the semiconductor space alone, with everyday announcements of new plants, and just yesterday, Texas Instruments announced day before that they're building a big factory gigafactory in Texas as well. So our rough estimates are in the range of 1.5 million to 2 million jobs in this sector alone.
And these people are not there, they're not trained.
No.
And so I just want to encourage the students to think about that. It's more than engineering, and it's more than throwing money at the problem. Yeah. We need leaders who can respect people and inspire people to go into this field and be successful. And this is a national security issue.
Exactly. That's what I would say. So it's a key thing. It also, I'm glad you mentioned that leadership challenge. One of the key things that I get asked a lot is how do you maintain the continuous appetite for learning, basically, and how do you then continuously on a path to be able to add value to the sectors that probably do not even exist. And so it's really boils down to, are you becoming a lifelong learner or not? And how are you getting into a mindset that, hey, don't let the complacency set in any time, basically, never. Just keep it at the next level of thinking and broaden your problem focus. I mean, you may be solving a smaller problem, but if you keep on broadening it, you will learn about it. So that's how the career trajectory also goes in leadership. I mean, we started on shop floor, doing probably manufacturing operations job and quality job and supervisory, and then you're growing up. But what you're really doing, Dave, is you're really zooming out. I was solving a technical problem. Then I'm solving a technical plus a manpower allocation problem. Then I'm solving manpower allocation, technical plus financial problem on how do I manage costs effectively. and so on and so forth. So by widening my problem focus area, I'm constantly learning. I'm motivating myself that this is how you grow. And to me, that's very, very important. And that's the mindset that'll help us bridge this gap in the country. We know manufacturing, we know construction. It's a question of, can we learn quickly, upgrade our skills, and apply it to semiconductor? Can we do it with quality, with the right kind of cost, and deliver it on time? So that is project management. We know how to do project management. In fact, some of the fastest construction I've seen in the country is in Purdue. You guys churn out buildings faster than anybody else in the country. So keep doing it. Take something from that.
Well, that's inspiring to me. I just want to go out and get into semiconductors right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask a last question, Prasad, before I turn it over to our student audience. I'm coming in to interview with you, and you've hired lots of people. What do you want to see? You know we're smart here at Purdue.
Yep, absolutely.
What do you want to see when we're sitting at the table across from you?
Just two things. And many times, John, my colleague, is here. They don't like me to interview people. They're like, no, you stay out of that. But in all seriousness, I look for two things, because I'm assuming you're coming from Purdue. A lot of boxes are already checked. That's it. I'm looking for energy. And I'm looking for what I call it as LQ. And that is your learnability quotient. How high is your LQ? Have you demonstrated that you can push yourself to learn the next new thing? Because guess what? Whatever you've learned so far, you would apply it immediately and start to see, and we discussed that, how do you make observation, human centricity as core part of that learning process. But you have to have the energy to be able to become a lifelong learner. That's how you grow. And that's what I'm looking for. Because today it is AI. I don't even know what is going to be tomorrow. So, but if you are a learner, you have the confidence that no matter what, I'll learn that and I'll build on that, because I have the energy and I have a learning growth mindset. I look for only those two things.
I think that's terrific advice. And I always try to tell students, it's one thing to be nervous for interviews and so on, and that's okay, because if you try to get rid of the nervousness, you may not come across as energetic, right?
Yeah.
So I would not be too afraid of the nervousness part. Prasad, on behalf of Purdue University, the Daniel School of Business, and the Executive Forum, thank you. This was really, really good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Executive Forum Speaker Series. Learn how the Daniel School is building the future of business by visiting us at business.purdue.edu. That's business.purdue.edu.